Hello, my name is Duncan Alderdice, and the reason I'm making these videos is to document the journey I take as I become who I am. I'm distracted. Today was a great day, interesting, we'll call it a good day. So, first out of business, 42 dials on the day. Low, however, 2 booked demos. So that's good, that we're creating an opportunity, as well as 3 demos held. So technically speaking, going like, okay, 150 minus 2 booked demos is up, now we're at 50 and 3 demos held. And technically 1 follow-up held, so then minus 200. So we're playing the 150 dials game still, that's working, and 0 demos closed. As well as we did some quick maths, 2 plus 2 is 4, minus 1, that's 3 quick maths, with my sales manager, which essentially determined that, okay, so math I did on my own was roughly, I generate, for including the $10,000 deal, for every dial or reach out I put, whether that's a LinkedIn message or a dial, I didn't count connections, maybe I should have counted connections, but for every reach out I make $5 and 25 cents for the company, which is good perspective to put. So technically, even though I closed 0 deals today, 42 times 5.25, I made generated $220 in terms of revenue. Or another way of looking at that is if I need to book 10 demos in order to close 1 deal with a 50% hold rate and 20% close rate. That's something I need to, I want to track, is the actual close rate I have for self-generated opportunity. Because if 20% is what it is overall, that includes what I get from marketing. And sometimes the marketing ones aren't great. Not blaming marketing on that, but it just is, well, no. Not what I just said right there. Not that marketing demos aren't great, but more when I talk to somebody and then have a follow-up conversation, have a deeper conversation with somebody, there's a layer of trust there. Whereas with a marketing email, it's a handoff. Like, it's like, hey, you're remotely interested, do you kind of have these things, talk to this human being, actually have it. That's the first contact with a human being from a potential scam, which is not to say that marketing is a scam, but that's potentially, that sometimes is the perception. But so that's that. I think I would want to know. I'm just going to drink this 1 second. I don't know why that was, my teeth got really sensitive there, the back of my teeth. What was the other thing I was going to say? Okay, but so 3 demos held on the day, and that's new opportunity. So now we're at 8 out of the 55 demos that I have to hold in order to close hit quota. If we go 8, now with the 2 deals that I closed, neither one of them were from the demos. That's, again, no, but those are the metrics. But I can tell a difference in my emotions between the person I am now and the person I was a month ago in regards to the outcomes of a day. So 3 demos held, no deals closed. All 3 of them were people who were interested, but they didn't have money. So at least there's a definitive outcome. But that could in past make me frustrated at the end of the day that I didn't actually contribute. But now I kind of go like, no, this is just part of the process. This is what it actually looks like. The day-to-day, sometimes you don't close as many, some other days you do close a lot more. Having metrics to track it so that it feels like I did actually win something. I guess if 55 divided by 16,000, nope, 16,000 is quota divided by 55. So for every demo that I held, I generate essentially $291. I recognize the fact that what I've just said in the past 30 seconds has not been one continuous thought, but has jumped out around all over the place. I think more, I don't know what I'm actually trying to say. I think in the past I would have been frustrated or discouraged or like anxious at the fact that I hosted 3 demos today and not all of them didn't have money, so that I wasn't generating any revenue. But I now don't have that fear. Like, I kind of go like, yeah, it's realistically the 2nd day. Like, there's 20 days left in the month. Well, there's 4 full weeks. Technically I have Friday off, but technically I have Friday off because I'm going to visit an apartment in Montreal, but what I will say is that I am not taking off the paid holiday, which is on the 20th, because I'm hoping that I get a bunch of demos that book for me through marketing. That'd be nice. That'd be swell to compensate for that. Not to compensate for it, but what also is nice is now that my calendar, the day is over at 6 o'clock, I actually kind of like seeing that. It's going to be nice to have that little... I was never actually like eating myself going like, oh fuck, I don't know if something's going to happen. I'm still at work. Like I didn't feel stressed, but seeing that it's not there now, I can absolutely like just disconnect, just no longer think about it, which is nice. Made a couple. There was one. The 2 demos that I booked actually were kind of good. The new dibsies sort of rule, whatever it is, I can. In the evening, there was a bunch of ones that I called for myself. When I called them in the morning, there was one guy who like said, he said he was going like, oh, you think just because I filled out a Facebook ad, you can intrude in me and give me a call or something like that? And it was like, what? I apologize because in past I have been a bit snappier, and I don't think that actually works, especially with inbound, because it doesn't. So then I was trying to be a bit more apologetic. That didn't work either. He just hung up the phone because he said I'm a really busy person, which generally indicates that people aren't busy, important, and just have a deep-seated insecurity that they're not worth anything, and they manifest that self by a outward persona of this grandiose, large and in charge person, when it really is just to compensate for the fact that they are afraid everyone would recognize them for the failure that they are. Or not failure, but just the lack of success that they are. Which is sad. But anyways, I will call them again, because I sent him a message on LinkedIn and he didn't reply to that. And then there was another guy who, like when I called him, as soon as I introduced myself, he then went like, oh, like, I just can't talk right now. Like, call me like at 4. And I was like, I'm not available at 4. And tried to negotiate a time with him. Couldn't do that. Because I was actually busy. So that was cool. Pipeline deals clean. There was one guy who I demoed in March, and he said to follow up early May, because that's when he became a financial advisor. And I got him on the phone, and as soon as I introduced myself, he hung up. And I tried calling him twice again because I was just going to be like, oh, sorry, my phone hit my face. That's why I hung up there. But he put them both to voicemail. I'm curious whether or not, because he is in a state that isn't the state of the area code the number I'm calling from is from. And he mentioned that on the call, but the double dial got through to him. I'm curious if he just thought it was a spam call. And so I'm going to just call tomorrow using a different phone number. Because he seemed interested when I spoke to him. He did not seem, it seemed out of character from the person I spoke to just hang up the phone immediately with no explanation. That type of behavior makes more sense that he didn't know who I was. Anyways, I'm not gonna let it get to me. And I actually can say that it isn't getting to me, so that's cool. My head hurts. I'm dehydrated. I'm gonna buy an air conditioning unit in a week and a half. And am I going to do anything useful tonight? I'm going to eat a cucumber. That's what I want to do. Should I read? I could read. Do I have anything to work on? I don't. Clementine Club, thanks for sticking around to the end of the video. And believe in yourself, because you're more capable of doing great things than you give yourself credit. And I'll talk to you later.